Hi, my name is Eva Storey. I'm the President and CEO for SignShares and SignShares International. We're an industry that provides sign language interpreting for the deaf and hard of hearing and other services for these communities since 1986. We've been established 4 years before the ADA laws, the Americans with Disabilities Act, came into fruition. And it was our dear founder, who's our late founder, Miss Deborah Gunter, who founded the company along with her husband, William R. Gunter. She did pass away 4 years ago, but we're grateful to say that we've been the first sign language company in the United States since 1986. And we started the groundwork for the ADA laws in the part when they had questions for the deaf and the hard of hearing. I started out in my career many years ago, I would say over 15 to 18 years ago. I'm a stroke survivor, 5 strokes, and when I started it was to help acclimate me back into society. And when I met Deborah Gunter, I was at another job, but not in the same industry. I was a person that loves technologies, and I come from the technology field and the art world as an agent, but never lost my business focus. And after that, she pretty much, Debbie Gunter, dictated my entire life because I ran across a community that I was so interested in, which was the deaf and hard of hearing communities. Of course, I'm going to hold my hands and try not to do sign language during this, but that gives you a show of every day what we do on our platform. We serve these 2 communities, the deaf and hard of hearing. And I've been in the career now going on 20 plus years. And on the flip side, for the past 12 years, I'm a state detective for the state of Texas. I do that independently, but it fits very eloquently with my position here as a CEO with SignShares due to a lot of injustices that you see of discrimination with interpreters for this type of community. So we help lobby on a daily basis for things like that. The job specifics I have as a CEO with SignShares and SignShares International, now that we've gone international since 2014, are very demanding, and they're always continuously growing. We are a small to mid-sized employer, but as far as clienteles, we are nationwide, and we're now reaching overseas. So this takes a lot of work. We're a company that stays open 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We answer all types of hybrids of type of work, from government to healthcare to medical to education, on a 24-hour basis. So we have to wear many hats, just like my role has to wear many hats within knowing what to do for these communities that require language communication access needs. So it's very important for all peoples with disabilities to get served on a daily basis. So not only do we have a small to mid-sized admin staff, but we do have a staff of interpreters, and we work with many independent contractors throughout the nation because we like to keep those communities served by their own community members that understand their culture, understand, down to the foods they eat, down to where's the nearest hospitals. These are all very important when we serve our communities on a daily basis. My greatest mentor was Deborah Gunter, the founder of SignShares. And her and I always collaborated. We never lost ties. She pretty much dictated my life as far as career choices, and I worked with her for many, many years. Started off as an educational coordinator here at SignShares. And then one day she walked in the office and said, "You have to go work for this other company." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You're no longer employed here. Go work at this other company." And she became my first client at an advertising agency. And then I had a son who had a special need. We could not find doctors or surgeons here, and we moved to Austin, Texas, where she told me where to go. And after that, she kept inspiring more to continue. So I got bitten by the healthcare bug and got into medical illustrating, medical editing, and learning a lot about different diseases. And I worked with doctors and nurses and got inspired by so many from that craft. And then through Austin is legislation, and got interested in the legislation, civil rights process, and wanted to become a lobbyist. I was brought back about 4 years ago, and then Deborah Gunter, the founder, passed, and I learned of my position here. And after that, it was prepared. I felt like she prepared me for many, many years. But I had other inspirations, and Christina Goebel is sitting next to me because she's been an inspiration to me for quite some time. I met her a few years ago at an Abilities Expo here in Houston, Texas, and I learned a lot about her. And I never clicked with somebody so fast. We had the same principles and the same passions, and she is hard of hearing, and she requires a CART specialist with her because she became latent hearing in her life. She wasn't taught sign language, but she was not born not hearing. So there's so much about her, and I wanted to give her the opportunity of sharing with me to discuss other questions about even who she would recommend, or what people should do in an industry that, like us, what advice would she would give them? I know I have several advices, but I'd like her to take the floor with this one.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you for what you said. I feel very much the same about how you've been an inspiration to me, and you've been through a lot, and being a woman, being a mother, and running a business at the same time. And not just any business, but a 24/7, 365 business, which takes a lot from your life, and you're able to balance it all and still, exercise and have fun and enjoy life. And that's very much what I want to be able to do with my own life. As far as advice for others coming into our field, and since I work with advocacy, the advocacy part of it, I've seen a lot of advocates make a mistake, and one of the worst mistakes that you can make is to start advocating for something. Let's say that you see that someone is doing something wrong and it needs to change. And so you go, you speak to someone that you think is responsible, and you say, hey, this bad thing is happening, and I think we should do something about it. At that moment, what they're waiting for is for you to propose a solution. If you don't propose a solution, a lot of times they'll think, well, if you don't care enough to tell me the answer, and you yourself seem to know more about the situation than me, then why should I do it? And so you should always pre-think your solution when you're advocating for something.